Unidentified skeleton. Skelons or skeletons? Let's see. Welcome, ma'am. I've been waiting for you. The site where the bones were found were a little ways offshore from this beach. You went ahead and started the investigation. I see. Thanks for that. Not at all. You clearing everything with local police meant all I had to do was arrive and inspect the remains myself. To get straight to the point, there is no doubt signs of a curse are clearly evident. The skeletal remains are tied to a supernatural incident. Hmm. Seems I was right to trust my intuition on this one. All right then, let me hear the full report. Understood. Skeletal remains. To begin, shall we review the details of this case? Is that really necessary? Summarizing may help us notice something we missed. Not a day goes past that I don't admire your diligence, Sodo. My thanks. I'll strive to be brief. A few days ago, a fisherman off the coast here hauled up a long, rod like object. It resembled a human bone, so he notified the police. That was about 10 days ago, so he fished up completely by chance. Following that, the police conducted an underwater investigation of the surrounding area. They discovered multiple skeletal remains in a fissure beneath the rocks. All the remains were already severely deteriorated, with each being several years to several decades old. Hmm. As a result, forensics struggled to identify the victims. There was just too little to go on. Only fragments of the skull remained, so facial reconstruction was apparently not possible. Hardly surprising in such a state. Still, with your ability, we hardly need facial reconstruction, do we? Indeed, I'll report my discoveries shortly. One possibility comes to mind. Will you humor me? Please, go ahead. I wonder if those skeletal remains could be the victims of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster from 5 years ago. Regrettably, that is not the case. Oh, darn it. Please don't sound so defeated. Forensics confirmed 5 bodies in total, but they said that each had decomposed over a different length of time. Oh, meaning they didn't all die at the same time? Correct. The most recent appears to date back 6 years. The others go back 10 years before that, and then another 10, and another 10, and so on. So, roughly one body every 10 years? Indeed, I imagine that any older remains may have simply decayed entirely, which means someone's been using that fissure as a place to dump corpses for decades. It's surrounded by rocks and with minimal currents in the area. It's unlikely they drifted there naturally. Had that bone not been fished up by chance, we'd never have known. In other words, it was an ideal site for quietly disposing of bodies. So this was no accident. Someone did this. I imagine quite some resentment must have piled up over the years. Indeed, but I've already cleansed the lingering resentment in the area. Leaving such resentment to fester could lead to a curse manifesting after all. Efficient, as always. My thanks. There is one more point of concern that all the remains have in common. Go on. Each body bore a clean, precise cut, I clearly severed. Severed? You're saying they were sliced straight through the bone? Exactly. Each was sliced down through the bone, all with a clean cut, smooth at the last. Forensics noted that reproducing such uniform cuts would be extremely difficult. Even with industrial equipments such as precision would have been unachievable decades ago. Hmm, one possible explanation is that a master swordman wielding a razor sharp katana cleave each one of them with a single stroke. Yes, well, that would certainly explain it, but warriors don't exactly run around with swords in this day and age. Which brings us to the possibility of a curse, I suppose. Correct. If the cuts were made by supernatural means, the rules change. And as it turns out, there were traces of a curse at each of the severed points. It was just a matter of time until we found one. Also, for the briefest moment, I glimpsed an cursed echo that looked like a warrior in armor. A cursed echo in armor? Ay, putaragis ka. Ano ba yan? Yes, judging from the crest of its arm. Bleh. Yes, judging from the crest on its armor and given our location. Oy! Hello, Tara! Good afternoon! Isang mainit na afternoon. Paano yung tawa yan? Talagang whisper. It appears to be a curse tied to the, I don't know how to pronounce this. He, Heike? Right. With wings, yes. On the wings of love. Ay, tanga, whisper. Oo nga pala. Whisper with wings. Hindi kasi ako gumagamit ng whisper. Modest kasi ako yung overnight. Na with wings, syempre. Specific ang puta, parang nagpapabili lang. Yung color purple. Kainis. Right. The Heike. You are familiar with the Heike, I assume? Ano yun? Quick verb. Sige-sige lang. Sige-sige lang. The Heike, I'm not too sure. The I will just pronounce it or read it as Heike. Okay. Parang Hiki tuloy. The Heike were a branch of the Taira clan, a warrior family who rose to power at the end of the Heian period. From their base is from their base in Ise province, they expanded their influence. Tunog Hiki sorry. Reaching great heights under Taira no Kiyomori. But in their pride, they were defeated by the Kenji in what is now known as the Genpei War. Genpei? Genpei War. Ah, yes, yes, of course, I knew that. The tale of the Heike preserved just how prosperous they were before they fell. Many who lived through the downfall carried deep regrets. Their resentment is especially persistent. Many traces remain even today, and they can be quite meddlesome. Indeed, you hear about it all over the place. Yes, even by expert standards, it's quite the problem. Okay, so meron tayong pa-history, history itself. What's more, the katana that cursed Echo carried, oh, I believe it might have been the famed blade Nukimaru. Nukimaru? Yes, a blade passed down through the Heike once wielded by Taira no Tadamori. I see. It would seem your love of swords has proved rather useful here. So what you're saying is that these skeletal remains were cut and killed by the power of Tadamori's curse? I can't say it was Tadamori himself, but I am confident it was a curse from someone within the Heike. Uy, kumain na ba kayo? Kumain na kayo? At the very least, it offers an explanation for those mysteriously perfect cuts. Hmm, but the bodies being dumped every decade, surely that can't be the curse too, can it? Correct. I imagine that part likely involves further intervention by someone else. So this wasn't an accident by some spontaneous curse. There was a perpetrator out there. Hindi ako kumain by choice kasi panggabi ako. Very good. I learned that too. The hard way. Pero kasi kapag ganitong mainit, wala kang ibang gustong gawin kundi kumain or uminom ng malamig. My goodness. Pero ano ka na lang, mag-snack-snack ka na lang ng paunti-unti lang para hindi naman sumakit yung tiyan mo. Ayan. Indeed. However, I can't imagine any psychic with enough powers to wield such a curse would dispose of bodies so poorly. My theory is that someone is using a curse stone. Curse stone. They are killing through its curse, then discarding the bodies. A curse stone? Think of it as a talisman that lets even those without spirit sense use the power of curses. They are created when intense resentment fuses with the suitable relic. That sounds dangerously convenient. There were a few incidents involving curse stones in Tokyo last year, actually. Didn't you hear? Oh, now that you mention it, that someone ring a bell? Rings a bell! Rings a bell! Ano to? Pero dumaan na ako sa kitchen para uminom ng tubig. Ang init eh. Ang init talaga. Lunch kasi ay midnight snack ko. Ang taray nung midnight snack, pang lunch. OMG. So in short, whoever's behind this possesses a stone imbued with the Heiki's curse. They use it to kill someone roughly every decade, dumping the body into the sea. Yes, that aligns with the evidence. Thank you for the summary. Okay. Now then, about those skeletal remains. Were you able to use your shagan, Sodo? Yes, I did. It only worked on the most recent bodies, though, the one from 6 years ago. By viewing the part of the remains, I was able to reconstruct a portrait sketch of how he looked when he was alive. So, lalaki. Here's a copy. I've already provided one to the police as well. Impressive. That ability of yours remains quite the asset. Not always. There are times when the vision just doesn't come through. It's far from infallible. Besides, there are those who could simply speak directly with the victim's spirit and ask who did it. Even so, none of these methods would hold up as admissible evidence in court. But as a leader in our investigation, it's more than enough. Excellent work. Thank you. We had the police compare the sketch against missing people from 6 years ago, but no match were found. Darn, would have made things much easier. Detective Ide is continuing the investigation. Ah, the detective with the local police. I've heard he's good. So let's hope he proves it. Okay. Di pa rin tapos tong topic. Say Sodo, that sketch of yours. Maybe we should show it to some of the locals? Ah, good point. Someone might recognize him if they were around here 6 years ago. If we can identify the victim, it could help us trace the one who used the curse. I guess we can't just leave things be now that we know that there's a curse involved. Honestly, I'd rather not deal with it. There you go again. Are you sure that's something you should be saying out loud? Obviously not. I just wanted to get this over with and go home, that's all. Yes, yes, we all know how much you love your home. Okay, tapos na. State of the sea. You can see the sea from here all the way to Kamishima. Do you sense anything out there, Sodo? Yes, I do. The waters south of Kamishima are saturated with the powerful presence of the curse of the raging waves. I can sense it even from this distance, that's how strong it is. Is that so? Looking out to the sea, I can't see a thing. I just hope this means we've made it in time. Even during the disaster 5 years ago, the energy was never this overwhelming. The seal has broken, there's no doubt about it. So it's already broken. That isn't good. The sea still seems calm, though. Does the storm not break out immediately? Yes, something seems to be holding it back for now. Oh, there's a silver lining at least. It seems stable for the moment. We probably have 2 or 3 days of safety. Then we've got a bit of breathing room. Perhaps there's still something we can do. All right. I hope we can do something about the curse of the raging waters while it's still being held back. Yes, but despite all efforts, we still haven't found a way to lift the curse. We might have quite struggle ahead of us. That's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? And we have no idea where's your ancestors' keepsake is, either. Ugh, I apologize on behalf of my family. Sinong family? Who are you related to? Hmm? Ma'am, behind you. Behind me? Behind me? Uy, putang ina. May tao doon, may tao doon. Who's that? Just someone from town passing by? Oy! Ah, she bolted. Soto, after her. On it. Hey, stop! Nyeh! Let me go. I didn't do nothing wrong. I apprehended the suspect. Good work. Sorry for the rough handling. Mind helping us out a bit? Huh? What were you doing here? Why did you run? What? Huh? Don't get smart with me. You're the suspicious ones, sneaking around and poking into things. You think folks won't be worried with shady types like you wandering around through town? Ah, I see. Sorry if we gave you a scare. We're with the police. Nothing shady here. You're with the police? Seriously? You heard about the skeletal remains found nearby, yes? That's what we're looking into. Tch, you don't look like police. Say, do you live around here? There's something I'd like to take a quick look at. Hmm? Do you recognize this face at all? We believe he may be he may have been around here about 6 years ago. Huh? Nope, don't know him. I see. Then could you point us in the direction of someone who might know about people coming and going in town? No idea. Just ask whoever you want. Can I go now? I've got nothing to do with this. Don't know a thing. All right, sorry for holding you up. She looks sus! She looks sus. She looks walang tulog and she's sus. What a peculiar woman. It was like her mind was somewhere else entirely. Well, either way, we should talk to more people in town. Agreed. Also, could you ask around and find out who that woman is? Of course. Ito naman si ate, utos ng utos. Several hours later, ma'am, I've learned a few things. Excellent, let's hear it. Itong si Akatsuki na to, utusan. Kaloka. I showed the sketch of the victim to several townsfolk. However, it would seem that no one here recognized him at all. Unfortunate. I suppose chances are he wasn't from this area to begin with. I guess we'll have to place our hopes on Detective Ide, then. You don't suppose we might be working with a bad sketch here? You needed not worry about that. I'm confident in the likeness. It should be a near perfect match. You're right. I'm sure it's close. Sorry for doubting you. Si ate nang offend pa eh. I also asked around about the woman we encountered earlier. Apparently, she isn't originally from this town. Oh? Is that so? Indeed. Apparently, she wandered into town about 5 years ago. She's been living alone in a cheap rental apartment on the outskirts of town ever since. When she first arrived, she had nothing but an old wooden box, which she was clutching as if it were very dear to her. Nothing but an old wooden box? Supposedly, she used to work as an ama diver. Around when she first moved here, she occasionally go diving for fish. But those days, she keeps to herself and no one ever sees her diving anymore. No one really knows how she supports herself, and many of the islanders find her unsettling. Huh. Perhaps she fled from something and moved her life here. That was suggested, yes, but she's never spoken about her past, so no one knows for sure. Although, according to her landlord, she's never been late on rent, and she's never caused any problems either. Still, it seems odd she'd get so worked up about strangers coming to town. Doesn't mean like she's in any position to be worrying about that. You think she might be hiding something? It's possible. Her attitude changed the moment we said we were with the police. Perhaps she was keeping watch over the coast where the bodies were dumped, waiting to see if someone shows up. Right. I mean, the most recent body is from 6 years ago, and she arrived in town 5 years back. The timing's rather suspicious when you look at it like that. We'd best keep an eye on her. Agreed. Were you able to get her name? Apparently, her name is Somekawa, but didn't manage to get her first name. Somekawa? Huh. Why does that name sound so familiar? You've heard it before? I think so, but I can't quite remember where. But I'm a woman who cast off her past long ago. I guess I shouldn't let it bother me. Not this again. Let's leave any time consuming background checks to Detective Ide. Very well, I'll inform him. Okay. So this means that the woman might been marking us since we got here. It's possible. I apologize for not noticing sooner. Even the moment's lapse can expose one to a curse. I was careless, but I won't let it happen again. You can be cursed that easily? That's terrifying. What a world we live in. That concludes all the information I gathered from all my inquiries. Yep, that helps a lot. Thanks. Shall I summarize our next steps? Yes, I suppose we need to do something about all this. Let's see. Regarding the unidentified skeletons, until we can identify the victim from the sketch, we have no other leads to move forward. I believe this is best left in Detective Ida's hands. Yes, agreed. And I think same goes for that Somikawa woman from earlier. We'll have Detective Ide look into her. It's nice to have someone we can rely on, agreed on that end too. In other words, we can safely leave the skeleton case to him for now. Yes, though we should remain vigilant regarding the curse stones. Regarding our main objective, or the so called curse of the raging waves, without knowing how to lift it, there's not much we can do right now. I don't suppose there's a chance you'd be able to break the curse using brute force. You're quite good at that. It's certainly an option if worst comes to worst, but I can't say I have high hopes it would work. I guess it would be more realistic to try find some clues about the whereabouts of your ancestors' keepsake instead. Indeed, it is said that item may hold the key to lifting the curse of the raging waves. But even the location on of the map pointing to that keepsake has unfortunately been lost to time. Although the map was said to be hidden inside a model of a mermaid mummy. One rumor says it was sold overseas during Edo period. Hmm, that doesn't sound promising. If we can't find it, I guess we're back to trying to break the curse with brute force. But to even consider that route, we need much more intel from the island, which is why we need to head to Kamishima. Ano kaya yung mga bruises ni ate sa leeg? Hiki ba yan? And at the very least, advise the locals to evacuate. Yes, hopefully someone of influence there will believe us about the curse of the raging waves. Hmm, is something wrong? Uy, may shadow. No, no, it's just one of the islanders I spoke with seems to be calling me over. Something may have happened. I'll go find out. Please do. Yes. Ma'am, what was it? The person who called me over shared a new piece of information. They were told to keep it a secret, but opened up since we're with the police. Go on. Earlier this morning, down by the shore, they apparently found something that resembled a corpse of a mermaid. A mermaid? Really? Ay, no, kasi di ba may something siya sa leeg? May something siya sa leeg eh. That same person reported it to the local authority. It was immediately ordered to tell no one, not even the police. You're kidding me. That local authority then contacted an unknown individual. Soon after, someone came and secretly retrieved the mermaid corpse. That couldn't be more suspicious, could it? Exactly. They were uneasy about the whole thing, which is why they confided in me. What shall we do? Hmm. Did they describe what the mermaid looked like? Yes, they said from the head to the shoulders it was human, but below that entirely fish. So it was not a classic mermaid from fairy tales, it would seem. Okay, only the head was human. Hmm? They also said it was completely dried out, almost mummified. The face was unrecognizable, but they thought it resembled to a local ama diver named Tamiko Suma. What? Apparently she went out diving alone. She? She went out diving alone this morning and hasn't returned. That's likely what worried the witness the most. That's troubling. Damn it. Just what we needed. More things to deal with. First things first, let's deal with the mermaid story. Come on. Ooh. Oh.